Ah, Phelps. I was just discussing with Finbar here how well you were doing. Have a seat.
Yeah, it's my real name. And you can just forget all about it.
You boys have a new case. A poor Hispanic woman murdered near City Hall and left lying naked in an alleyway.
Another naked woman, sir?
Yes. We seem to have had quite a run of them since the Dahlia fiend first struck.
Phelps is politely trying to hint that he thinks the Mendez case is hokey.
Well, young Phelps, you win some and you lose some in police work.
You're happy with the Mueller case, sir?
Over the moon, boys! The DA couldn't be more pleased with the evidence, the witness, and the lack of an alibi. Now, get out there and catch me another sinner.
It's gnawing at your gut. Something doesn't quite sit right, but as long as your captain's happy, your partner's happy, and you're on to solve another case. When will it end? When will it all make sense?
You have the address?
It's the alley off Aliso between Los Angeles and Alameda.
You're kidding. The next one will be opposite Central Station.
Count yourself lucky, Phelps. Most guys would kill to land a case so close to their desk.
Yeah, it means they can pop in to hit the office supply of hooch whenever they need it.
You know, that ain't a bad idea. That is not a bad idea at all, Phelps.
Detectives, they're ready to start the show. I'll take you through.
Oh, for Christ's sake.
Brothers, Pinker?
Cause of death is pretty apparent. We thought we'd best wait for you. When you're ready.
Another woman murdered, left naked. Let's check her neck first.
The lacerations on the neck would indicate a great deal of force.
This is more gruesome than we have ever seen before. Her face is cut. Her neck is cut. Could it be rope that did this? I don't know. Her right hand now.
Only 21 years old. But why the library card? Did he want us to find it?
The library card reads Antonio Hill Street, date of birth, July 7th, 1926. It's from the public library. Why would the killer put this here? Does he want her identified? If you think back to the other cases, Mueller, Henry, we were left with some way to identify the woman. This killer has us right where he wants. We're on a dangerous path and a dangerous web. Let's check her stomach. There's some words on it.
Kiss the blood, BD.
If you notice, there's a laceration on her left side, along with stomp marks. Whoever did this to her was either angry, resentful, or they just like to inflict as much pain as possible. Let's check. Let's check her left hand.
Another wedding ring torn from the finger. No skin under the fingernails.
And her wedding ring is off. Who would do this? Is it some type of prize to take the rings, the jewelry off these women? Or just someone very angry with Antonia? There's cuts on her arm too. Whoever did this took his time. The lacerations around her neck is probably from rope. This poor woman.
The evidence in the Mueller case was solid. I'm not convinced about Mendez.
The best way to get away with murder is to pin it on somebody else. I'll bet a month's salary this is a copycat.
Strangled, battered,
Yeah, we know the M.O. So does every jerk who kills his wife and girlfriend looking for a way out. I've spoken to Brown. He still believes the Dahlia perp has medical experience.
4 women, all murdered, all put on display, all with messages.
Mueller had no message. Look, Phelps, this is getting us nowhere.
Anything for us to go on, Mal?
Head injuries from contact with road, bruising from a small man's shoe, further blunt force trauma to the occipital region at the base of the skull. Could have been fatal, but clear signs of strangulation would seem to rule it out.
Lipstick appears to be a similar color to the other cases. I'll see if I can nail down a brand.
Rusty just doesn't want to believe it, but everything is looking like this is the same killer for all three murders. At a certain point, the evidence is telling you another story than you want to believe, and Rusty and the captain don't want to believe that this is a repeat killer, a serial killer. But we see that. Let's go to evidence marker A.
If she took a blow to the head like the others, she was probably unconscious when strangled.
Could this be what was wrapped around her neck? The silk stocking? Did that have the power to cause those lacerations? Or maybe she was tied up, then he used the stocking to murder her.
Phelps, you'll want to come and take a look at this.
But look at this, a blood trail leading from where the body is down this alley, and it seems important. Rusty is calling us over. Here's a hat.
Antonia. Huh, same as the library card.
This was Antonia's hat, and this wasn't just left here by accident. There's a blood trail leading to this hat. Killer wanted us to find this. He wants us to know that he holds the reins, and any information that we get is information that he wanted us to know. The blood trail continues, and it seems to continue down this alleyway, up against the wall. It's in the trash cans when we see it. Blue heel.
Proximity to the scene, plus the bloodstains. No way is this coincidence.
Let's venture farther down this alleyway where the blood is taking us. And there's something shining in the distance.
On it goes.
We kept the area pristine for you boys. Let's check it out.
House keys, strung up like bait on a hook.
This is getting scarier and scarier.
You think he's trying to lead us somewhere?
Probably all the way to City Hall, that brazen son of a bitch.
We head down the alleyway, following more blood.
That's got to be a code or a cipher.
And 2 dots, 5 dots, 3 dots. What it means, we don't know right now. Let's put this paper down and follow the blood trail. It looks like we're going up. And here's the blood trail again. It leads us into a bird coop. And now we know her last name. Mrs. Antonia Maldonado.
Empty. Where is all of this meant to be taking us? He clearly wants us to find these things. He's left them for us.
There you go, Phelps. We got a new M.O. I told you it wasn't our guy.
Or he might just be getting more confident.
It's empty. He wanted us to know. But this is the same M.O. as before. Leaving breadcrumbs. Henry, the table lighter. Deirdre, Moeller, the ID badge. He wants us. And I agree with Cole. This is the killer getting more confident with each murder he does and gets away with. He thinks it's a game. He enjoys seeing the cops run around like chickens with their heads cut off. But let's check this. metal blocks.
Enameled and gold-plated. This was precious to her.
It looks like it's a travel makeup case. Powder, blush, a mirror. But if we follow the bloodstain even further, we go up a drain pipe.
Pulled from the finger and hung up here. What's the significance?
And he didn't take the wedding ring. He left it hooked up here for us to find. We follow the blood trail again. And look, a bucket. And yes, Cole, just grab the paintbrush with your hand, ungloved. Oh my god.
Looks as though the killer was decorating with this.
I feel like the killer is smart enough to wear a glove, because he's doing all this, but Cole's not smart enough to wear a glove. Yeah. And lastly, to the corner, back. This is a cute clutch.
Son of a bitch wants her identified. Mrs. Antonia Maldonado, 712 North Hill Street, downtown.
Now we have an address. Let's go to Mrs. Maldonado's place.
It was Mrs. Maldonado, right?
That's affirmative.
All right, so then there's a husband we should be looking for. Get him, we've closed the case.
Rusty's razor, of course. I don't want to question your tried and tested techniques, Detective Galloway. But doesn't the DA require sound casework before he'll close the book?
Not if he's got a confession. And, you know, there's ways of getting those.
I'm sure.
This is why I don't like Rusty. He'd rather not do police work, get a false confession to get a pat on the head by the captain. We arrive at the Maldonado's residence.
Wait just a moment. I'm sorry. Can I help you?
LAPD, ma'am. Detective Phelps and Galloway. Does Mrs. Maldonado live here?
Yes, she does. I'm Mrs. Barbara LaPente, the owner of this boarding house. Is there a problem?
I'm afraid so, ma'am. Do you mind if we come in? Is there somewhere we can discuss this?
Of course. Follow me through to the parlor. Wipe your feet as you come in, detectives. It's this way.
Mrs. Maldonado was found dead this morning.
Dead? Oh, no. She can't be.
I'm afraid she was murdered, ma'am. We need to take a look at her things.
I can't believe it. A person seems so alive, and then they're gone. Antonia's room is upstairs, last door on the left.
Thank you. We'll be back shortly.
Excuse us a moment, ma'am.
Now let's head upstairs. And we remember that the key left at the crime scene was to room 5.
Will you look at that? Someone's turned the place over.
They broke the window. This room is an absolute mess. The glass is on the floor inside the room. So, the person was breaking in from the balcony, it looks like. So let's check the dresser.
The charm bracelet wasn't among the crime scene evidence.
That's her husband. We at least know his face, but we don't know where he's holed up.
A smashed window explains why the place looks tossed.
You know how I feel about windows, Phelps.
And we'll examine the iron picket.
So someone broke in using this thing instead of a crowbar. Wonder where it was taken from.
This is very unusual. This had to be taken from a gate. This isn't a modern design, at least not modern for 1950s. Where could this be from? But we'll put it down and we'll head back inside. And we'll check on her bed. It reads Mrs. Maldonado, 712 North Hill Street, Los Angeles, California. And it has a nice little stamp on it. Let's investigate further.
Okay, we have an address.
Mrs. Antonia Isabel Maldonado, C/O Parsons Boarding House. We know the address. Antonia, further to my previous correspondence of August 7th, I am writing to inform you that your petition to the Superior Court of the State of California has been accepted and a court date scheduled. Your case, docket number 98765, will be heard on September 17th. I am told that your husband, Angel Christopher Maldonado, residing at 304/330 North Hill Street, Los Angeles, California, has been served with official papers and is on notice to appear at the Central District Court on the above date. Though it is not essential, and many women in your position choose not to do so, I would advise you also to appear at the Central District Court on the scheduled date. In my experience, a woman plaintiff's presence in cases like this one can do much to influence proceedings, and if your husband does not appear on September 17th, which you told me is likely, then it can only help our chances. Yours sincerely, Frederick D. Tattersall? I'm sorry to this man. Frederick D.T. I'm gonna guess he's a lawyer by all the LLB GD. So Antonia was getting a divorce from her husband. Could this have drove her husband to kill her? Could the reason that this case is so calculated is because her husband was already served divorce papers and he was just biding his time in planning her murder. We'll just have to interview Angel Maldonado. But now we have to question the landlord, the woman who runs this boarding house. To let her back and we'll head downstairs.
We have some questions, ma'am, if you're up to it.
Yes, Detective. I'll do my best.
Let's ask Barbara Beniti. We're just gonna call her Mrs. L. Mrs. L about possible suspects.
Do you have any idea who might have wanted to hurt Mrs. Maldonado?
That rat of her husband, Angel. She was serving him divorce papers.
If I killed every wife that served me papers, I'd be a mass murderer.
Are you being flippant, young man?
No, ma'am.
And thank you for calling out Rusty. But she's looking straight at us with a little bit of a smirk, but she's looking straight at us and her posture is relaxed. So let's play good cop.
What can you tell us about Angel Maldonado?
She married him when she was 17. He was cruel to her, very cruel. She was a good girl, little on the religious side, but a good girl.
Let's ask her about where Mrs. Maldonado was at last night.
What time did Antonia go out yesterday?
She left around 9.
Do you know where she went?
No, I have no idea. She was a good girl, but she didn't confide in me.
And she's looking down to the side and she has this grim look on her face. She's looking cold in the eye, but she's not as confident as before. We don't have proof. So let's play bad cop. Let's be a baddie. I'm joking.
A nosy old hag like you knows everything about the people who live under her roof. Where did she go?
I think she went to a bar. She's been drinking quite a lot lately.
This bar have a name?
El Dorado Bar. It's a Latino place on North Los Angeles Street.
That's only a couple of blocks from where we found the body.
And next, let's ask her if she has any knowledge that her house was broken into.
You've had a break-in?
No! That can't be true.
Okay. I don't believe that for a second. There was too many dramatics. The hand over the chest, the exaggerated words and length of the words. And she's looking down again. And she's hoping that we don't press her on it further. But we're a detective. We're Cole Phelps. So we're gonna accuse her because we saw the broken window.
You're being economical with the truth, Mrs. Lepenti. What do you have to hide?
I have no idea what you are talking about.
So Antonia lost her keys and used an iron bar to jimmy the back window?
I heard a noise in the early hours of the morning. I thought it might be a raccoon at the milk bottles. It'd be very bad for business if this news got out. I have a reputation to protect.
And Cole loves that economical with the truth line. I might start using it in her real life. And I cannot blame her for not going investigating. She is a 62-year-old woman, and it would not be smart for her to confront a robber. And this is probably one of her only incomes, so she wanted to keep this hush-hush. But a woman was murdered and her room was broken into. She needs to tell the truth to the police. Let's ask her about Antonio's divorce to Angel.
Antonia and her husband were estranged?
Yes. She moved here after she separated from her husband 2 months ago.
But Antonia still wore a wedding ring?
She wore the wedding ring and a necklace. She always wore a religious necklace. That's about all of her jewelry.
I love how she says husband. But she's looking at us with a smirk, like she's not telling us something. She's gonna keep it in her back pocket. But what could she not be telling us? We saw she's mentioned a wedding ring, which we found at the crime scene, a necklace which we didn't find, and we saw in the photo that there was a charm bracelet. So we're gonna accuse her.
What about her bracelet?
I don't know anything about a bracelet.
Okay, ma'am. We're gonna use the charm bracelet photograph for this.
In her wedding photo, she's displaying a charm bracelet.
That thing? She never wore it. He gave it to her. She always kept it in that wooden jewelry box.
Thanks, ma'am. You've been very helpful.
Pay a call to that husband of hers. Lock him up and throw away the key.
We can either front Angel, seeing as the finger's pointing right at him, or we can check out the Eldorado bar.
Ooh, policeman. Let's head to Angel's house. I'm on the right side of the core.
A nosy old hag? Ah! And I thought I was coming on strong with the ex-wives line.
Sometimes you have to be firm to get the information you need.
God damn it, ain't that the truth?
How about we drop in on the husband instead? See if your gut is right.
I'll take a bar over a husband every day of the week.
Think there's anything to the divorce angle?
I've been through 3, Phelps. And no big deal. After a while, you just numb yourself to the experience.
But Angel, he's a young Latino man. It would hurt his sense of who he is. He'd see himself as a failure, a woman taking control over his life.
Then she fronts him and he snaps. Works for me. That makes Angel a killer as well as a piece of shit.
But could Antonio's husband really do this? I mean, there's a thin line between abuse and murder, so it's possible. It just takes one incident to go too far and wind up with a murder. But Angel would have to be so dumb to lead us around, allowing us to identify her, leaving her socking, a paintbrush, and a bucket of blood, her wedding ring tied up, her house key tied up. He either wants to be caught or he's sadistic. All the lacerations on Antonia's body, this man needs to be put under prison if he did this. We arrive at Angel's house. And I saw this sweet car in the preview. I just want to get inside of it.
Mrs. Truman and her daughter Margaret take part in the ceremonies at the Capitol by dropping
nice.
theirs and the
I can
president's
get
dimes
used to
in
this.
the Missouri.
I'm sorry. Let me get out this person's car. Let's head inside the building. It's better than the car we're driving. We should take it. But let's look on to the right and see if we find Angel's name on one of the mailboxes.
Maldonado is in apartment 304.
We have the apartment number, 3rd floor, 4th apartment. Let's head up these stairs. Moving on up to the east side. I'm sorry. In a deluxe apartment.
Phelps, this could turn ugly. Forget about knocking. Let's take our boy by surprise.
Hey, what the fuck?
LAPD, motherfucker, you're under arrest.
Okay, where in the world was this smart?
100 pounds of wife.
I got nothing to say to you.
We're done with one person, and let's help Rusty out, even though he doesn't deserve it. Whoa! Ooh! I lost my hat!
Damn. They got some decent shots in there.
They do!
Cuff these sons of bitches, Phelps.
LAPD, You two are under arrest.
Even got Boo out of breath.
Call for some backup, Finbar.
Not Cole using Finbar.
Galloway, badge number 564. I need a prowl car at the apartment building 330 North Hill Street. 2 suspects need transporting to Central.
Your wife has been murdered, Angel.
Antonia? Oh, God, no!
Where were you last night, Angel?
I was here with my brother the whole night, goddammit! You think I'd kill my own wife?
We should get the whole place going over, then talk to the neighbors.
His face when he was told that Antonia was murdered. It wasn't the face of someone who knew, and it seemed too real to be acted out. Maybe Angel is just a POS, but not a murderer. But let's have a look around his apartment first.
And Phelps, I don't care that you just got smacked in the head. You don't call me Finbar.
And that is what I'll be calling Rusty now, Finbar. When we walk into the kitchen, to our left is a box.
Just picked fruit market. I wonder if Angel gets all his groceries from this place.
That is a lot of liquor. Let's close this box and head over to the laundry line. And look at this. Blood on his sleeve and on his collar and shirt.
This will take some explaining.
Maybe one of the neighbors took notice of Angel's movements. He's got no alibi. He's toast.
Let's look on the counter.
The El Dorado must be a family favorite.
Now let's go and ask the neighbors if they heard anything. We'll knock on 305.
What do you want?
LAPD. We're making some inquiries.
Make it quick. I work nights.
So you weren't home last night?
No, I was at work.
You know nothing about Mrs. Maldonado fighting with her husband?
Those two? They're always screaming the place down.
Thanks.
Seems like Antonio and Angel were not the best people to be living next to. We'll knock on 303.
No good. There's nobody here.
Okay. Now let's knock on 301.
Hey, sorry about that. I'm playing with my kids.
LAPD. Were you here last night?
Yeah. My wife and I are separated, and I had the kids last night. I put them to bed early and went to bed myself.
Thanks.
Let's head to 302 and knock on the door.
Hello?
LAPD, ma'am. Did you hear a disturbance last night?
Yes. Yes, I did. Mrs. Maldonado lit out of here, and her husband ran out after her.
You saw this, Miss?
Aranda. I had the door open a crack.
Did you see Mr. Maldonado come back inside after he ran out?
No. I didn't.
Thanks. We'll be in touch.
I kept thinking you were going to call that one a nosy old hag too, Phelps. Well-executed restraint.
I'm executing restraint right now, Finbar.
The hired help at the El Dorado might have seen the broad the night she died. Maybe the regulars, too. You should check it out.
Let's head to the El Dorado bar.
Car 11K, Car 11 King, come in.
KGPL, 11 King, over.
11K, Captain Donnelly and Detective Sergeant Finis Brown urgently request your presence at Central. A new letter has been found.
11K, en route.
You don't think it's strange that all these murders are happening to girls who've been out drinking?
No. A broad drinks, she gets a bit tight, she starts mouthing off. This leads to that, and she ends up in an alleyway. It's a sad story, but this town's seen it play out 1,000 times, Cole.
Why don't you want to see a connection here?
Because there are perfectly good real-life suspects for every one of these murders. We don't need to go looking for the monster under the bed.
Another letter? I thought the letter was from a nut.
These letters, Brown and Hanson believe they are genuine. From him.
And now we sent another.
You know, I really hate this fuck. This Black Dahlia guy. Have you seen the body? The fucking case just gnaws away at your guts. Hollywood. Every prom queen from every fucking hick town in America turns up here. Where do they end up? Gutted on the fucking sidewalk.
And it looks like we're going to be headed to Central Police Station.
The captain is waiting for you downstairs with Pinker.
Yeah, I'm thinking of moving up to a 45.
Guy gave his wife a tap. I'd say all's fair in love and war.
That's
What?
I hear he's an honest cop. Now, there's an oxymoron for you.
These guys are rude.
I was married by a judge. Should have asked for a jury.
Oh my god. Anyway, let's head down these stairs. And I have no idea where we're going. Oh, here we go.
Boys, come on in. Phelps, have you met Finis Brown?
Pleased to meet you, sir.
This information is confidential and doesn't leave this room.
The new letter was left in the back seat of a cab. The driver thinks it was put through the window and not left by a customer.
We're checking all his fares back 24 hours regardless.
Good.
Like the previous letters, it's been assembled from headlines and type from the Times and Examiner, then glued to an envelope.
What is the other note?
This one? That's also new. A poem, hand-typed.
Do you mind if I take a look?
Go ahead. We've been over both documents pretty carefully. They've been wiped with gasoline, so there's no chance of prints.
Let's check the letter found in a cab first.
That's the message from the Celine Henry case.
Have changed my mind. You would not give a square deal. Fuck you, BD Tex. And now let's go over to the poem.
Heap upon thy soul by virtue of this curse.
Heap upon thy soul by virtue of this curse ill deeds, then be thou damned, beholding good, both infinite as is the universe, and thou in thy self-torturing solitude, an awful image of calm power. Though now thou sittest, let the hour come, when thou must appear to be that which thou art internally, and after many a false and fruitless crime, scorn track thy lagging fall through boundless space and time.
That's why we called you in.
Do you think it's original?
Not unless he's a genius.
You like this nutjob's poem?
No, I like Shelley. It was written at least 100 years ago.
Shelley? Sure, I knew that.
You see, Finis? I told you this lad was a bright boy.
Sure, but what has it got to do with the case?
Prometheus Unbound. Prometheus was a titan, a superhuman character who defied the gods to bring fire to humanity.
The Dahlia guy believes he's Superman.
Your guess is as good as mine. One thing for sure is that he's educated. What about the link to the Henry case?
He could have got the wording from the papers. As you said, he is fiendishly clever and takes pleasure in taunting us. What's happening with the Maldonado case?
We had the husband in custody. We haven't interviewed him yet.
Well, upstairs then, lads, and see if we can break him.
We'll head up the stairs and go and interview Angel.
Improved your attitude, Angel?
What do you want me to say? I was with Antonia the night she died, but she left the apartment, and that was the last time I saw her.
Let's ask him more about the last contact he had with Antonia.
So your wife paid you a visit last night. What time was that?
Late, around midnight, maybe? She didn't stay long.
But we know he's lying. He chased after her, and we know this from the neighbors.
You're lying, Angel. You went after her. I think you killed her.
You're out of your mind. My brother will tell you I was at home.
We have a witness who confirms that you were arguing, that your wife ran out, that you followed her and didn't come back.
I know this looks bad, but it's not true. We argued, all right, but she went out and I went out after her and she jumped in a car on the corner.
There was a car waiting for her? Can you describe the driver?
Not the driver. It was too dark. But the car, it was a brown Ford Coupe.
Let's ask him about the ring, the necklace that were taken from Antonia.
When we found your wife, her jewelry had been removed. Was she wearing her religious medallion last night?
Sure. She always wore that.
And we can back it up because the landlady, Barbara, told us that she always wore that necklace.
What about the charm bracelet? Was she wearing that?
You know about that? She never wore it. She didn't like the message. She kept it locked up in that box of hers.
But we didn't find a box in Antonia's room. So whoever broke into her room went in, took her jewelry box, and left. Let's ask Angel more about his divorce with Antonia.
You and your wife weren't getting along. She was divorcing you. Is that why you killed her?
We fought, yeah, but we weren't getting a divorce.
That's a lie. We found the divorce paper, the letter from the attorney, that he was served, so he knew about the divorce.
I don't believe you, Angel. She'd been granted a decree nisi. She pushed you too far, and you lashed out.
I told you. I wouldn't accept a divorce.
The judge had set a date. You were going to be paraded in front of the whole city for your cruelty to her, Angel.
Antonia. Oh, Jesus. She came in drunk, out of her mind. She doesn't normally drink. She was looking around in her bag. Said she wanted to serve me papers. Me, her own husband. So I slapped her down. She ran out. That's the truth.
What size shoe do you wear, Angel?
Size 8. What difference does that make?
So many men with size 8s. Wow, but Angel is a real POS. Your wife was divorcing her, so your instinct was to hit her? Let's ask Angel about the blood-stained shirt we found in his kitchen.
Your wife has been brutally murdered. So how do you explain your shirt being covered in blood?
You found that? I cut myself shaving.
And that was a weak excuse. He's blinking a lot, and it looks almost like he's struggling to keep eye contact. So he's squinting, he's blinking, his eyes twitching, and all that blood couldn't have come from a shaving accident unless he cut an artery. So we don't have the proof to accuse him, but we can play bad.
Angel, I'm not going to waste any more time on this. Give me something or I'm going to have you charged.
My brother, Ippolito, he said some bad things about Antonia last night. So I had to sock him one. We got into it.
Keep talking.
She said she came from the El Dorado bar.
And?
It's not one of my places. We used to buy fruit at the market down the street. But the creep there was always running his eyes all over my wife.
What's the name of this fruit market?
Just picked fruit. Ord Street downtown.
One last question, Angel. Do the words kiss the blood mean anything to you?
No. Sounds sick to me.
You're not in the clear by any means, Angel. You're going back into a cell. You should think about whether you have anything else you need to share with us.
Let's head to the El Dorado bar.
The line on existing prices, but to make reductions whenever profits justify such action.
What can I get you?
LAPD. Detectives Phelps and Galloway.
Diego Aguilar. How can I help?
You worked the bar last night?
Yeah. Me and a temp guy from the agency.
Did you have a woman in here last night? 21 years old, Hispanic, drinking heavily?
We have a lot of ladies like that in here. But yeah, I know who you mean. Antonia Maldonado. What did she do?
She was murdered last night.
Oh, shit.
Do you know her well? Was she a regular?
Hell no. She was good and tight last night, complaining about her old man. It's a story you get used to working in a bar. She was so hammered last night, she left a letter on the bar. I'll show you.
Sam has taken me to Palm Springs for the weekend.
It reads Angel Maldonado by hand. Let's investigate further.
Divorce papers? Did you open them?
No need to. She was shouting about it and waving the letter around. Said she was going to show him.
Whereas Antonia Maldonado did on the 8th day of August 1947 refer her petition to the Superior Court of the State of California, praying for the cases therein set forth that she might divorce from the bonds of matrimony entered into with you, Angel Maldonado. We do therefore command that Angel Maldonado, the said defendant, that setting aside all other business and excuses whatever so, you be and appear in your proper person at the Central District Court of the Superior Court of the State of California on Wednesday, the 17th day of September 1947, next to answer the petition of divorce from the bonds of matrimony on the grounds of cruelty, brought by said Antonia Maldonado, and to show cause, if you have any, why the said plaintiff, Antonia Maldonado, your wife, should not be divorced from the bonds of matrimony. Witness, Hon. Earl Branham, Judge of our said Court of California, the 11th day of August in the year of our Lord, 1947. Let's put the divorce petition away. Let's ask Diego about the missing jewelry.
Can you remember what jewelry she was wearing?
She had a necklace. Some kind of religious thing, I think. The temp guy would have more of an idea. She took the beer he served her and cried into it all night.
What time did she leave?
Can't say for sure.
He's squinting, and he's puckering his lips. He's looking like he's trying to appear calm, but he's holding out on us. For what reason? I don't know, but he's not telling us the whole truth. So again, bad cop it is.
Where did she go? Give me something or the LAPD will start getting interested in this place.
Take it easy. She wanted a cab, okay? And my phone was out of order. The closest one I knew was at the fruit market across the street, so I suggested she try there. She seemed reluctant.
Let's ask Diego what Antonia was doing last night.
Did Antonia say where she was going when she left?
She said she was gonna serve the papers on the husband. Said that would take the smile off his face. If you ask me, she was scared. And the drink was for Dutch courage.
And Angel admitted that he slapped Antonia, so she had good cause to be worried, to be scared. And he's looking us directly in the eye. He's shifting side to side, but he's been standing for a while, I think. So let's play good.
She attract any interest?
An extremely drunk young woman? What do you think? She managed to scare them off, though.
Thanks. You've been a big help.
No problem. Hey, get the guy, will you?
We'll do our best. One last question. What size shoe do you take, Mr. Aguilar?
A broad 9. I have wide feet.
I feel that.
Sam has taken me to Palm Springs for the weekend.
But anyway, I'm sorry.
So
the bar's telephone was out.
You're gonna see your married man again?
He was telling the truth about that. Let's head out the back.
A waitress.
Sir, do you work here?
Sorry, pal, just making deliveries.
From where?
Just Pig Fruit Market across the street.
A fruit market delivers here?
Yeah, sure does. The Mexes love a little slice with their tequila.
We found a crate a lot like the ones you're wheeling there, except it was filled with booze. You know anything about that?
What? No, we deliver all over the place, officer. No telling where the boxes end up. Excuse me, I have to get on with this.
Fine, thanks.
And if I had to be asked if he was lying or telling the truth, I would say that man was lying. But let's head to the car and head over to Just Pig Fruit. And we see him drive to the parking lot.
What's your read on Maldonado?
I still like him for it. Seriously, that line about the guy at the fruit market making eyes at his woman? Please. We'll get to the market and the guy behind the counter will tell us he saw Angel drag his old lady off into the night. This case will be shut like all the others.
Ready to serve you with first-rate automotive gas and oil products. And you can rest assured.
The handbag was left just up there, overlooking the market.
Could have come here from the start and saved ourselves a day's legwork.
Let's head in and talk to the man behind the counter.
Sir, Wait, you look familiar.
Hey, from the bar, right? What brings you here?
LAPD, Detective Phelps and Galloway.
Clem Feeney. What can I do for you?
Did you happen to see a young woman last night? 21 years old, Hispanic?
Sure, she came by last night. Why do you ask?
Clem about the religious necklace that Antonia was wearing. And was she wearing it when she came in?
She was wearing a necklace?
I didn't notice.
You weren't paying attention, Feeney?
Hey, you're getting the wrong idea.
And he's looking off to the side. He's shaking his head. He's pursing his lips. We don't have the evidence to accuse him, but he's looking like he's hiding something. So let's play back up.
Exactly how much fruit do you sell here after midnight, Clem?
Look, not much. I sell the odd bottle on the side to the after-hours crowd. Look, I don't want any trouble. I'm just trying to make a buck.
And let's ask him about the last time he had contact with Mrs. Maldonado.
The young lady arrived around midnight?
Yeah, something like that. Used the phone for a cab and then left.
And again, he's looking to the side. He's just looking shady. Coal in the eyes for too long. Let's play bad cop.
You already knew Mrs. Maldonado, didn't you, Clem?
Sure, I met her before. She seemed like a nice lady.
Her husband went apeshit one day when he caught me talking to her. She hadn't been back until last night.
Let's ask him of the last known movements of Antonia Maldonado.
Where did she go from here?
She wanted a cab, but I couldn't get her one. I was about to offer to drive her, but a car pulled up and she got into that.
So this was before she went over to Angel's. We saw the car that Clem was driving. It was green. He's looking Colt in the eye. He's still shifting from side to side there. So we'll do good cop.
Can you describe the car?
Brown Ford Coupe, I think. She seemed to know the guy.
Do you mind if we look around?
Why would you want to do that?
Because we say so.
I guess you can. Don't you have to get a court order or something? I have rights.
Clem? Shh.
Oh my god. If this guy gets a good lawyer, they're gonna have a field day, Rusty and Cole. The odd bottle.
No wonder he stays open late at night. People have to get their vitamins.
Okay, Rusty.
Check through this stuff before we get back out there.
Jeez Louise. The odd bottle. Let's look on the desk. And what is this? We'll look to the left and we'll pick it up.
Why cut someone who was already dead?
It's a typical power thing. Once the stiff is dead, the creep usually feels they can do whatever they like. Must have seen it during the war.
A scalpel. Blood on it. Looks like Ray Pinker's gonna have to come down here. And now another tire iron? But it doesn't have any blood on it. And let's check to the left of the boxes, and we see a box with just picked fruit on it. And look at it. It's the same bottles that Angel had in his apartment. And next, we'll look in this file cabinet, and there's a box in it.
So what are we hiding in here? This thing needs a combination.
The shirt to the right of us has blood on it. And if you remember from earlier, there's that piece of paper with different dots. It was 2. It was 5. And it was 3. And there is Antonia's jewelry box. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce the title. Let's read the words on it. Wives, submit to your husbands, as to the Lord. 23. For the husband is the head of the wife, as Christ is the head of the church, his body, of which he is the Savior. And I can see why she didn't like to wear it and she kept it in a box, because Angel is a piece of work. Look at the rest of the pieces. And that is it.
This fruit stall punk gets about 10 seconds to explain before I pull his fucking arms off.
Clem!
And we're off.
God damn it, get after him, Cole. I'll try to shoot out his tires. Wish me luck.
We have to catch Clem fast.
should have grabbed him when we had the chance, Phelps.
When we had the chance, we didn't know he was our guy. Strange that he'd leave a trail of blood right back to his own market.
Maybe he wanted to be caught. A lot of them do.
It's almost too perfect, isn't it?
There's no such thing as too perfect.
There is such a thing as too perfect.
Phelps, you gotta get me closer. Hit it. Clean this asshole off the road. The fruit guy's getting away, Phelps. Now who's about to get picked? Give yourself up! Hit him, Cole! Spin him out! Show me!
You're a sick man, Clem. You need help.
Outstanding job on this case, gentlemen. The poor woman can now rest in peace. I'll pay the fiend a personal visit myself and remind him that crime in this city does not go unpunished. When they finish with him at the receiving hospital, we'll have him up before the grand jury. I have a meeting this afternoon with the mayor lads. I'll be sure to mention your names. Now, on your way.
Ain't no way, Sway. The captain just took a whole box. With a body on his doorstep, the DA may look to send Clem Finley to the gas chamber. You're probably gonna get tired of me saying this, but it doesn't feel right. Something is off. If Clem knew that he had the scalpel, his bloody shirt, Antonia's jewelry box, wouldn't he have hid it, get rid of it, and at least get rid of it in the garbage behind the market? It's just not making sense. No person is this dumb when it comes to a murder. He meticulously picked out what he was going to leave at the crime scene. He left the sock. He painted a whole blood trail up to the roof. He left the hat. He left her shoe. He left her key. He left her letter so we can identify her whole name, identify Antonia. And then he leaves her enamel-plated makeup box. He leaves her wedding ring. He leaves the bucket of blood and a paintbrush that he used to paint the trail. And then he leaves her clutch. This makes no sense. He's smart enough to leave all these clues, but he's not smart enough to remove the scalpel he used, remove Antonia's jewelry box. I didn't see a bed in that back room, so it's not like Clem was using this to sleep. Maybe he had just committed the murder and his heart was racing, his head was pounding, and he just put it there for now. But why let the cops look at it when you know that you have those things in plain view? I think Clem was only worried about that they would find out that it wasn't the odd bottle. It was cases upon cases of alcohol, and he doesn't have a liquor license. And then on top of it, it's the green car. And Angel and Clem told us about a Ford coupe. This man in this brown Ford coupe was the man who was last seen driving Antonia away from Angel's residence. And then Angel, he is a POS to the fullest end. He's jealous, he's quick to anger. You see how he snaps. He thinks about Clem talking to Antonia. This man abused his wife, but his reaction when he heard the news that she was murdered just rings a bit too real, that he didn't know. Either he has amnesia or he didn't do it. And the captain and Finbar and the DA are just happy to send another man to prison when this doesn't make sense. This killer was analytical. He planned out these details. He planned out how he wanted Antonia identified. He let us find the letter from the attorney. It was Angel. He could easily have taken it. He ransacks the room, but he takes the jewelry box when he could have easily kept her wedding ring. It's almost like whoever took this jewelry box knew where they wanted this planted, because he didn't take this jewelry box for a trophy. He already has Antonia's religious necklace. Whoever did this is much more cruel, much more savage, much more marked than Clem and Angel combined. It's leading us to know that too many dots connect from the Henry, the Moeller, and the Maldonado case. We can't find evidence anywhere connecting potential suspects to the crime scene, to the body, until we try our last lead. And magically we find everything we need to throw the book at these men. You see in the last scene that when Cole was congratulated by the captain, Cole didn't look happy. It's still gnawing at him that everyone's okay to send innocent men away rather than getting the actual killer. Now we have a serial killer on our hands and nobody wants to look. They're happy to let this killer get away with murder again and again as long as they have a man to put behind bars, to tell the paper that, hey, look, it wasn't Black Dahlia, it was so-and-so. And again, we find that these women are drunk, easy prey. This killer isn't looking for a challenge. He's looking for someone easy. But Moeller didn't come from a bar, at least that we know of. But if we remember the flashback, if we remember the scene before we took control of Cole, we see Moeller in a parking lot. Maybe after she had the fight with her husband and she had some time before she had to pick up her daughter, she had a drink at a bar. She was attacked. Again and again, we find men who don't seem like the type to do something as vicious, calculated as these murders. But this killer is getting smarter. If you notice, there was a blood trail, but not much blood around the body. So Antonia was placed there, written on and dehumanized. We have to continue down this road in homicide, and hopefully we can find this maniac. But that is it for the Silk Stocking murder. Hi guys, I am Desi Bynes, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I had a great time making it, playing the game, getting it out to you. A lot of work goes into these videos, and we are going to be going through the entirety of LA Noire. So if you like what you hear, subscribe, and plus I got a few more games that I am in the middle of editing, capturing, and making teaser videos for. So if you are interested in that, please hit the subscribe button. Thank you for all you do. Please like, subscribe, share, comment. Tell me if you're with me or if this makes sense to you. Clem makes sense. Eli made sense. Mendez made sense. I'm open to any comments, and I'm open to contradicting theories. So, please. So I thank you once again for watching. You don't know how thankful I am that you made it this far, and I am going to leave you with some words. I hope that you are brought love, light, luck, and happiness. Because you being here, you watching this video, makes me so happy, and I thank you so much.